welcome back to Electronic Game Information and our continuing coverage of this year's Tokyo Game Show. I'm your host, Robby Rackleff, reporting to you from the mean streets of downtown Tokyo, Japan, a city in every sense of the word. First up, we take another quick look at a game on my Nintendo eShop wish list. We look at how much the game costs currently, its base price, and how much I'm willing to pay for it and why. This is our latest entry in our newest segment. How much does the game cost versus how much am I willing to spend on it? Tonight, Final Fantasy XII. This is a massive game, a deep and complex and beautiful game that has aged gracefully thanks to its dynamic gameplay and unique aesthetics. In addition to the expected HD touching up to smooth out all those PS2 era jaggies and textures, there are a number of quality life upgrades for modern players, and for me the most exciting of these upgrades is of course the one that lets you speed up the gameplay. This cuts down the amount of time you spend traversing some empty areas of Final Fantasy XII and also makes the leveling up grind less tedious. It allows players to focus on the fantastic art direction and story, and this is easily the most unique of the preteen Final Fantasy games, and being able to zip around makes it this version worth a look. That said, the asking price of Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age on the Nintendo Switch is $49.99. That's too much. That's almost as much as a brand new Switch exclusive game like Astral Chain. Astral Chain is, of course, the brand new action extravaganza from Platinum Games, the legendary game studio who brought us Bayonetta, Bayonetta 2, Wonderful 101, and Mad World for the original Nintendo Wii. For those of you who may not be familiar with Mad World is a single-player beat-em-up set in a world gone mad. The Mad World terrorists have taken over the city and turned it into a massive and sadistic game show where everyone must fight to the death. Mad World's graphics are starkly black and white with the dramatic exception of the red blood that spurts and jets out of the bodies of your enemies as you smash and destroy and rip and impale them using a combination of standard and motion controls, fisticuffs, and of course environmental elements. Alan, are you there, and have you ever wondered about what might happen if the world goes mad, like the way it does in Mad World?
Oh, Robby, I can hear you. What are you asking me about?
Now, Alan, I'm wondering what would happen, what would you do if the world went mad like the way it does in Mad World, the starkly beautiful black and white single-player beat-em-up set in a world gone mad?
Such an interesting question I never thought about. What would I do if the world went mad?
The world's been turned on its head by the Mad World terrorists. It's kill or be killed. Everyone's running around trying to figure out how to get through this sadistic massive game show that the Mad World terrorists have set up for the people that survived, the people remaining.
So if the world went mad, I would be mad. I would be mad that everyone was so mad. I would become one of the mad people running around. I'd be an agent of chaos. I'd be causing harm and destruction. I would break things that people worked hard on, but everything's mad now, so I can just go crazy and make a mess.
Because just because the world gone mad doesn't mean that you have to leave your humanity, your basic humanity, the basic law of humanity should not be left behind just because the terrorists have come into the city and turned it into a massive and sadistic game show.
I gotta disagree with you on that one. All the rule book is thrown to the wind. Everything's smashed and destroyed. So why not join and have a little fun? It's Mad World. Back to you, Rob.
Alan, I think that's such a troubling thing coming from a young and a person so full of ideas and imagination to use all of those powers that you have innately inside of yourself to make a bad situation somehow worse. I just don't think that's the route that you want to go.
Well, you don't know everything about me, and I always find a way to surprise you. So this is just one of those cases where I'm being surprising and going my own way and destroying the world in Mad World.
Are you going to take that neck brace off, Alan?
Yes. Today's the big day. I am able to. The doctor said today I could take the neck brace off. It's been a while, and I'm all healed up. So I'm just going to do that. This is kind of my gift to you, is taking this off, because I know you want to see my neck.
It's a wonderful gift. And if you can imagine, we wouldn't have these doctors that can tell you all these wonderful things about how your neck gets better and you can take the neck brace off. Today, if the world went mad and we lost all of that infrastructure, all those hospitals and all those doctors and nurses who have been so kind to you in the aftermath of the San Diego Comic-Con 2019.
Yes, that's right. If the world went mad, I wouldn't even have a doctor. I'd never even have a neck brace. But I'm going to do it. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Alan. Let's see how this thing really looks. This is an EGI exclusive. He's taken off the neck brace. Watch out there. There you go.
Okay. I feel good. I feel like I'm getting when you haven't been outside for a while, you've been trapped inside the house, and then you go outside and you can feel a fresh breeze on your skin. You didn't even know your skin was that sensitive, but it is, and it feels great. So I am happy to be having this experience with you, Robby, and thank you for I feel taller because of what you did to me in my neck.
I mean, you have to think. You really have to trust that things will get better, that they can return to some kind of normalcy. But the fact of the matter is that the terrorists, even after you've torn their bodies to bits in Mad World, those terrorists may have actually won, because the city can never go back to being the same place that it was, thanks to the Titanic boss battles that you experience in Mad World. Alan?
I'm just happy to be in Tokyo.
No amount of kicking and punching and using an arm-mounted chainsaw and tossing dead and destroyed bodies into massive dartboards is going to change that. Playing through Mad World reminds me that humanity is constantly teetering on the edge of brutality, that ultimately the end will come for us all, and assuming that we haven't exactly evolved past the usual muck and mire of our current state of affairs, when it does come, what can be expected of us besides that return to complete and total violence? I mean, I don't mean to philosophize, Alan, but how different are we from the wolves?
It'd be in my opinion that we are exactly the same as the wolves, and that is a good thing, because wolves are cute and they're soft and they're kind of just dogs.
Well, they're kind of wild dogs. They tear each other apart at the slightest sign of a Mad World. If the game show were to come to your city and to kind of compartmentalize different sections of the city into different sort of smaller games of the larger game, what I'm saying is that the wolves are only in one part of the city, Alan.
Well, I think you and I are kind of like a pack of wolves. We're two wild dogs, and we're on the run in Tokyo, and that's so fun.
It's funny that you say that about the wolves, because I've always pictured you and me as actually a couple of one of those things that they're bigger than wolves, they're smaller than but they're smaller than whales. They run around. They're in the mountains. They stand up on their hind legs. And
mountain lion.
No, it's bigger than mountain lion.
People. You're just talking about people.
No,
just us.
They stick their hands in the honeycomb.
Bears.
You and me are like a couple of bears, wise old bears. Looking down at the world gone mad, at all the wolves tearing each other apart. You and me are just sitting and watching from the safe place that we set up for ourselves, just in case this did happen.
And you're a big bear, I'm a little cub bear, and we share the honey, and we don't share with all the other people in
Well, you
Tokyo.
have your own stash, and I've got my own stash. And
even better.
I can't eat the honey because I have the blood sugar issue.
You can have some of my honey.
Well, I can't eat any honey.
Well, and then I'm not going to have any of my honey. I'm gonna not have any honey. We're going to eat salmon.
I'm going to eat salmon. That's the stuff. They're talking about how they can make salmon in the labs now without the fish.
Back to you, Robbie.
Back to you, Alan. So Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age, is on my eShop wish list. It's priced at $49.99, but I would be willing to pay not that much, but I would be willing to pay $14.99 for the opportunity to visit the world of Ivalice in docked or handheld mode. So if you're in any sort of decision-making office over there at Square Enix and you're considering marking down Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age on the Nintendo Switch eShop, please consider marking it down to $14.99. At $14.99, you've got yourself a sale. Now, no one can mention this year's upcoming Tokyo Game Show, which just starts in just a few days after that. It's unbelievable that just a few days we'll be back in the Tokyo Game Show, back reporting to you live as all those big pieces of gaming news come down the wire. The Nintendo Direct that was yesterday with all that great stuff about Animal Crossing and the Pokemons and the Super Nintendo games being added to the Switch Online subscription service. I mean, unbelievable stuff. But no one can mention the upcoming Tokyo Game Show without mentioning the classic game Dark Watch. Dark Watch for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. It's not coming out again, but we are talking about it. This is Dark Watch is, of course, the often overlooked first-person shooter set in a vision of the Wild West that can only be described as cursed with vampires and ghouls and creatures of darkness. Dark Watch was, of course, made by the wonderful people over at High Moon Studios, the fantastic developers at High Moon Studios who brought us arguably the two best Transformers games, Transformers War for Cybertron and Transformers Fall of Cybertron. They are not, however, responsible for almost equally great Transformers Devastation for the PS4 and other consoles. That game was developed by none other than Platinum Games, the same developers of, you guessed it, Mad World. So let's take a quick look back at Dark Watch, running on the PlayStation 2. This is an EGI exclusive look back at Dark Watch. It won't be at anybody's booth in this year's Tokyo Game Show, but here we are taking a look back at a game that I think really deserves a second chance. I mean, you just look at these wonderful environments. You look at the horse, the dead horse. It's still alive. It's still kicking. It's still with us. But you're moving on. You're moving through these different little rooms. And now you're outside. So when you're outside in Dark Watch, you know you're out in the Wild West. You're in a lawless territory, not unlike Mad World. In this case, in Mad World, the world's gone mad because of terrorism, and in Dark Watch, the world's gone mad because the corpses are walking again. You see you've got your companion there. You're picking up all of the different items, and you're going to go over there and talk. No, you're not going to talk. You're going in the church. So here's a couple of pistols for you, Alan. What do you think of our EGI exclusive look back at Dark Watch? I mean, is that enough supernatural Wild West action for you, or what?
Absolutely, Robbie. Dark Watch. Was that Dark Watch?
That was Dark Watch for the PlayStation 2, although it also came out on the Xbox, developed by High Moon Studios. High Moon Studios, the people behind
Mad World,
Transformers, War for Cybertron, and Fall of Cybertron.
Well, I gotta say, Dark Watch seemed like a pretty scary, fun time in the Wild West. I'd love to go into the wild. When you saw
the horse on the ground, did you think that the horse might come back?
No, at first I thought that horse had passed, but then I noticed that it wasn't. It was back to life. It was a full horse again. All
right, well, let's see. Let's go to the phones real quick and see what people are saying about Dark Watch on the PlayStation 2. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. We're talking about Dark Watch and the lead up to this year's Tokyo Game Show 2019.
We are?
Yes, we're talking about Dark Watch. Believe it or not, High Moon Studios is back in our minds and in our hearts, and Dark Watch has been seen again. It was disappeared for a long time, but now it's back.
Dark Watch has never ever been in my mind or heart. I've never heard about it until you uttered the words Dark Watch this very stream, so I'll be sure to check it out.
Well, I mean, are you a fan of the Wild West? Are you a fan of the supernatural? Are you seeing all the wild gunplay that is possible with the Wild West weapons that are, of course, have been augmented to fight the supernatural in Darkwatch?
No. The Wild West has a very bad connotation for me.
How so exactly? I mean, when I think of the Wild West, I think of fun times. You're riding on the horses that are living.
You got cowboy hats and campfires.
Cowboy hats, and you better believe that the main character from Darkwatch has got one of those wide-brimmed cowboy hats.
I think that sounds fun.
If you've ever seen any cowboy movies or Wild West movies, a lot of people actually pass away in that movie in very brutal ways. And I don't really find that fun or enjoyable because I'm a very non-violent person.
Sensitive person. Darkwatch is scary stuff. I mean, you're seeing all those doors with spikes on them. You're seeing the dead horse and the blood spots. You're thinking all sorts of terrifying things. But there's got to be a Wild West game for you out there that takes all of those fears and just sort of like puts a nice sheen over the Wild West. You're thinking like your SteamWorld Dig or maybe even Alan. You're the 3DS expert. What's one of that 3DS game where you roll up into a ball and you're in the Wild West?
That's Red Dead Redemption 2 on PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4 is the wrong kind of game. This guy on the phone here is saying that all the death and destruction that happened in the Wild West, the true West. I mean, because how different was the Wild West from the Mad World? This is a question for the caller.
Mad World doesn't I refuse to even look at a screenshot from Mad World. I had to turn away from the computer because I was about to start hyperventilating, but I think I'll be fine now. I think I'll stick to my Scrabble puzzles on my cell phone.
All right.
That's the kind of video games I'm into.
All right. Well, if I can just put one bug in your ear, there's a little game called Metal Gear Solid VR Missions. They printed a lot of copies of it, but they didn't sell a lot as many as they thought they would. It's a game where all the violence takes place in a virtual kind of recreation of an environment, not a real environment, not like a textured environment, just green. You know what I'm talking about? Just green, like
just green?
Just green. Like one of the old phones.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your call. Let's go to another caller. We're talking about Darkwatch. We're talking about the Wild West. We're talking about just what happens to humanity once the law and order systems that we've grown to know and love just kind of break down.
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Well, okay, so put yourself in the shoes of the main character from the video game Mad World by Platinum Games. You have been tasked to retaking the city from these awful terrorists who have turned the city into this unbelievable carnage-filled game show for their own evil devices.
Oh God. That's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. What do you like? What are the options here? What do you think?
There's no real other option other than to kick and punch and fight your way through the hordes of enemies that they place in front of you and get the best possible end of level score you can, and hope for sakes that you can end up in some place that slightly resembles the world that you came from.
Wow. What if that goes against my ethics, though? What if I'm like, I just like kind of don't want to like violence is just not my thing,
It's not up to you. They turned it. The whole thing is it's contrived. It's a game show. You can't win unless you play by their rules.
What happens if I don't win? What?
Then the terrorists win one way or the other. It's just about how much they win. They change us.
Damn. Well, that's a really ethically murky zone that we're going into, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your call. Let's go on to the next caller. We're talking about Darkwatch on the PlayStation 2. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. Are you a Darkwatch fan or not?
I am not.
Not a Dark Watch fan. This is the third caller in a row. Not a Dark Watch fan. People are either have something against the Wild West as a setting, or they have not experienced the game Dark Watch for the PlayStation 2 in the way that it should have been experienced. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I should try it. I'm just a very broke kid. So.
Broke kid. Well, here's the thing about that is that there's nothing less expensive that you can play games on than a PlayStation 2. I saw you go down to the thrift store, you can probably dig one out of one of those big plastic bins. Alan, you know what I'm talking about? Those big plastic bins they put a lot of electronics in at the thrift store?
Yeah, you can get all sorts of cords in those big plastic bins. You can play Wild West games like Dark World.
Dark Watch. It's Dark Watch.
Yeah.
It's Mad World.
It's a mad, crazy world in Dark Watch, but it's not Mad World. That's a separate game.
Oh, right.
Caller, what are your thoughts?
Well, I had a PlayStation 2, and I absolutely loved it. I played
Dark Watch.
I played it a lot, and then my dad broke it.
Dad broke the Dark Watch. He broke your Dark Watch disc. That's
well, he broke my PlayStation
Alan, this is
2.
This is tragedy.
Buy the caller a PlayStation with a copy of Dark Watch.
We can't actually. The logistics of pulling that off are unbelievable, but the sad story here, and this is a real tragedy. I mean, this could be written down, and they could turn it into a short story. It could be a short film that could be maybe built out into something else. About you go to the store, you get your copy of Dark Watch, you get home, you're about to plug it into your PlayStation 2, and what happens before that? You can even get a chance to start up that fantastic supernatural Wild West adventure.
It is truly tragic. It has completely ruined my life, and I don't know if I'll ever be the same, honestly.
Snapped in two.
Yeah,
just like
totally.
just sit on that. All right. Thank you for your call. We'll be right back.
Okay. Where are we going?
Welcome back. We have a lovely pile of fan art for you tonight. Alan, you ready for this? Alan?
Yay!
Alan, I see you hanging out there. I see you having a great time. We're here in Tokyo, Japan. We're covering the Tokyo Game Show. Often there's been so much news in advance of the show itself. I mean, you have to wonder what they've got left for the actual event.
I don't know.
Well, here's a lovely picture of me and you.
Yay!
From our E3 coverage.
That's me.
That's me and you. This is from Cat N. You can see that we're having a great time, that we're just hanging out. We're thinking about all the wonderful things that happened at E3 2019. I mean, there was so much going on, so much. All the community really came together. I really feel like it was a special time. I was so happy to be alive and be present for it. I was so happy to have you there for me, Alan.
Yeah, it was so fun. I had fun. Huh?
How's the neck?
It's loose. It feels good. I feel a full inch or two taller.
Well, here's some another beautiful drawing. This is by Ashley Howard. Ashley Howard has, of course, getting a little bit of glare on this. This is a printout that's a little shinier, but if you can see, there's the expectation and reality. So the expectation was that I was going to kill you on stage. I was going to pull your head right off. We see it maybe in this one. We get a little bit less glare. Expectation versus reality. Expectation was the death of a friend, and the reality was,
I think it was a gift because you made me tall, and I've always been sensitive about my height.
Well, you're a little bit taller, and we still have you here. We still have you. You're still part of the family. You're still part of the Electronic Game Information family, and we're so blessed to have you. We have
Blessed
another
to be here.
drawing. This is of me looking.
You're looking blue.
Blue. I don't know if it's the blue on the skin. I'm not sure what that's about. But I am quite blue, and you are quite pink with red cheeks. Because you're a little shy, you're a little happy.
Yes.
We're talking, we're chatting, we're giving each other the thumbs up. There's the thumbs up coming from me and from you. What do we got?
Thumbs up to you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Alan. Here's a drawing. This is a drawing of yours truly with the headset and everything. This is from Cat N. Another beautiful drawing by friend of the show, Cat N. We're getting a little bit of glare. I apologize for that, but there's a beautiful red, kind of a squiggle, kind of a thought bubble. Maybe it's somebody is thinking of me and thinking about drawing me down. Cat, you drew me so well. I'll remember this. I'll keep it close by.
It's the arts.
It's the arts, Alan. That's right. And here it is.
That's me.
That's Alan Resnick, live from Tokyo, Japan.
Live from Tokyo, Japan.
In your EDI correspondent outfit. This is from Nathan.
Can I see it? Oh, wow, look at me.
Also known as Nathan Vegetable. And this is you doing some sort of arc. There's an arc of lightning coming from you. This is obviously a special move that you might use when you're trapped in a mad world, when you need to defend yourself. And I hope that, Alan, that time never comes, and that you never have to use this unbelievable lightning-like power
Very cool.
that is coming from you in this image.
Thank you for caring about me enough to draw me and send it in.
Here is drawing again. This is again.
That's me.
Harkening back. It's me and you, and it's harkening back to our E3 2019 coverage. You're saying, hey, Alan, Alan Resnick. Here in front of a large, beautiful woman here at E3 2019. That's coming. That's what you're saying, and then I'm saying.
What is this one about?
This is from E3 2019. There's the Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, the pillar that you were sort of obsessed with for a second there. I'm glad that we've moved on from that, and we have a picture of me looking. I'm looking a little angry. I'm saying, Michael, can you please cut back to me? I don't know who Michael is.
Who's Michael?
Who is Michael?
I don't know what that's about, Robbie, and I just want you to clarify that.
Well, it says, welcome, gamers. Obviously, it was E3 2019. Michael, you might be out there somewhere. Maybe we haven't met yet, but maybe someday we will. This drawing was, of course, by Lydia Snyder. Lydia Snyder, friend of the show, beautiful piece of art.
Very cool.
And now here's something specifically for our Tokyo Game Show coverage. It's all of these little beautiful renderings of Tamagotchi images of you and me and friends of the show, Ben and Cricket. Ben and Cricket, of course, are...
what is this?
They're Tamagotchi characters.
Got it. Okay.
You feed
Thank
them,
you, that's the arts.
You feed them, and you keep them alive, and you communicate with them, and maybe I think if you do you touch them together? Do you touch the Tamagotchis together, and they some sort of like there's like a magnet that they transmit information?
I gotta be honest, I can't understand a word you're saying. I can't hear anything. It sounds like a loud ringing in my ears.
Well, there's the Tamagotchi. This is from Nacho Cheese. Nacho Cheese 3, friend of the show, Nacho Cheese. Always good to hear from Nacho Cheese or to see images from Nacho Cheese. This is from Boomy Zoomy, Alan.
Hey!
Can you see this one? This is you and me as Animal Crossing cats.
Let me see that.
Because we talked about someone had the idea of asking us which Animal Crossing animals we would like to be, and we both said cats.
And that's me as a cat. So that's in the drawing of me.
That's you as a cat. We're having a cat old time.
Thank you for drawing me as a cat, and my best friend Robbie is also the cat.
This is a wonderful. If you love cats, you can't go wrong with Animal Crossing because there's just so many wonderful cat characters to interact with and have a great time and leave little notes for and do errands for all the cats.
Yay.
This is a special one.
Look
Alan
at-
Emotions. Can we get I'll try to get this a nice kind of.
Oh my God.
There we go. Alan,
Look
you
at
see
this
all-
me.
Why don't you? You see all
Someone
the
loves
stuff that
me
you're
enough to
going
draw
through?
me about 5 times. Thank you.
Everything that's happened to you is sort of shown here. It's beautifully rendered. It's lots of detail. Your all the wiggles on your skin.
Thank
all
you
of
for
the dark
drawing me.
spots and all
So
of the,
nice. That's me.
All the imperfections of your skin are really
Robbie,
rendered quite nicely.
Robbie,
If
how
you-
many
if you ever-
times?
Alan isn't.
the artist
Alan,
draw
you're
me?
ruddy.
Excuse me?
You're ruddy.
I'm ready.
Ruddy.
Ready.
You're a ruddy. You're a ruddy kind of guy, and this goes to show why that you can get some of the. You want one of those smooth-faced people.
How many times?
No, you want someone who looks like they've lived. They've been out in the sun.
Can you hold it up and just
That's
count?
Alan Resnick.
Can you just count how many of me? Okay, we're moving on.
Moving on is another image from this is from the Mortal Kombat play, the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 play that we did at San Diego Comic Con. This is me lifting you off the ground, trying so damn hard to tear that little peanut off your neck, and not getting what I want. But the fact is that Mortal Kombat was a way to make people feel better. People felt better. In the end, you feel better because you
Yes,
feel
I feel better. I feel
taller.
like I've
I
been,
feel better. I feel
rejuvenated,
stronger.
reborn
It was good
as a
to
tall
know that I
man.
could lift you up and keep you up for that long, and almost
and
actually
it did feel
get,
good to have you touch my head.
almost get the break the neck. I don't know. This is that was from, of course.
What was that?
From Nathan Santora, aka Nathan Vegetable, and the previous one, Lydia Lynn.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Alan. Someone loves it.
So
Someone
7
loves
days
me
of
7
Alan.
times.
If
Thank you
wanna,
for loving me enough to draw me 7 times.
So Marco Pizzola sent this in, and I'm not really sure what he was trying to communicate
I think
here.
it's Ben.
Oh, you're right, it's Ben. And the final one that we'll show tonight is, of course, from Lindsay Yang, friend of the show. Lindsay has shown Alan, you were using a freeze spell to kind of keep me cool when it gets too hot.
That's another
in
drawing
the
of me.
in the EGI studio here in Tokyo, Japan. So thank you, Lindsay Yang, for thinking of me and thinking of ways to keep the heat down.
It's the arts.
It's the arts. Moving on is our, of course, questions from the audience. It's the letters. Alan, you have a couple of questions there. You want to get us started with a couple of good video game related questions. Let's keep the spirit of the Tokyo Game Show.
See what we got.
Going.
Question. This is from Miles. 602 miles per hour asks, is there any chance Alan could sit at the desk? Miles, yes, there's a good chance.
Nope, not during the Tokyo Game Show. It's obviously, we need you out in the field, Alan. We need you out there just in case anybody pops in, and we need your kind of correspondence skills put to use. That's why you're out there. That's why you're out there in the world. You're the on-the-street correspondent, Alan Resnick.
Yes, I'm in Tokyo. I am really in Tokyo, so I am not going to be sitting at the desk this time, but maybe next time. Okay, ready for another question?
Ready for another question. Let's hear it.
Luco Devo asks, how are you both so cool and awesome? Wow, what a fun question.
Well, the complicated answer to that is that because of the divorce, I was able to spend a lot more time learning a specific sort of, specific topic.
Right.
Because I had so much more time to myself to think about, ways to not deal with what was happening in the house. So I was able to spend more time doing something that made me feel better. Mm-hmm. So that's how I'm not sure how Alan got to the way that he got to be.
I would answer the same way, and I would also add, on top of what you said being for me, I would also say I'm just naturally cool and awesome. That just came naturally, kind of just like as easy as breathing. It's a kind of an effortless thing.
All right. Well, I've got a couple of questions here. We've got a couple of questions from Frisky Thrift Face. Wants to know if will Glover get a remaster? I'm going to say probably. At some point, I'm sure. I think Glover is one of those timeless characters, one of those platformers that just never really seem to leave people's heads, leave people's minds. I believe that they will. I think it's coming. So Frisky Thrift. Yes. Batterbug wants to know, what do you think of Parappa the Rapper, the Jammer Lammer series? I would say that Parappa the Rapper is a series. Jammer Lammer is a part of that series, not its own series. But these are great. These are great games. They're rhythm games, the kick punch all in the mind kind of games that reminded you why it was so important to have the ability to rap or to play the guitar in the band with Jammer Lammy. Alan, did you ever play the Parappa the Rapper or Jammer Lammy games?
I never played a Parappa the Rapper game, but I have seen a Parappa the Rapper game, and it looked quite neat and cool. Like a Paper Mario or some sort of a cartoon.
Like a Paper Mario game that you could play with your friends and you guys could sing along together.
And you play as a rapper
together. I mean, we've lost that. We've everyone just to sit around the TV and sing along to the Parappa the Rapper.
Robbie, let's go out and we'll do karaoke in Tokyo.
If you had to pick one 32X game to be re-released in VR, this is from Atlantic Colson. Atlantic Colson wants to know if you had to pick one Sega 32X game to be re-released in VR, which one would you choose? Alan, I'm going to let you take the first crack at that one.
Sega 32X game, I'd probably do a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Oh, there wasn't a Sonic Hedgehog the game for the 32X. There was Knuckles, Chaotix for the 32X, but there was Sonic was not.
Yeah, so I would probably go with Knuckles in the 32 Knuckles.
I would probably pick something like Star Wars Arcade. Star Wars Arcade, of course, the wonderful 3D rail shooter with flat shaded polygons that depicted the early, those great early Star Wars movie battles so well with such a limited amount of processing power.
Hey, Robbie, can I change my answer?
Yes. Would you like to change it to?
I'd like to change it to the early Star Wars game too.
Why don't you pick Virtual Racing 32X?
You're the boss. My vote is officially. Can you write this down? Virtual Racing on the 32X. Virtual Racing.
So Atlantic Colson, your answer is Star Wars 32X and Virtual Racing 32X. Alan, you have a question over on your end.
Yes. Luco Vito asks, What do you plan on doing next? I'm gonna go do karaoke in Tokyo, walk around Tokyo with my friend Robbie. We're gonna explore the city.
We gotta finish the rest of the show, of course.
Of course.
We have
we'll do the list.
We have a question here from Ouija. Hello, I am sick and writing to you from my bed. My eyeballs are so hot, I probably won't make them able to watch EGI live tonight.
Feel better soon.
Ouija's wondering what our favorite games of all time are and why do we love them so much. Alan, your favorite game of all time?
My favorite game of all time will be the game that Robbie made up, but it's not out yet. But I can already tell that if that's going to be my favorite game of all time, it's going to be one of those games you play and you never forget.
All right. Well, my favorite game, Ouija, is Panzer Dragoon Saga for the Sega Saturn because you can pet the dragon. We'll have time for one more question. Robbie, have you ever had a game remake change something that seems small at first but ends up changing? This is a complicated question now. I need you to focus here because they want a recent example of a game change, a small game change that has a big impact on how the game is played is when the Crash Bandicoot remake, and those you slide forward just a bit when you landed. The original Crash games you did not. That says major implications for a platform. This is going to take a. I think that it's tough with these older games, especially these older platforms. You want to make sure you keep the spirit of them intact. But honestly, I think a little bit of tweaking, especially maybe there's a good reason. I haven't played those Crash Bandicoot remakes. Alan, you're the Crash Bandicoot.
Nope.
No, you're not Crash Bandicoot. But this has major implications. I do think it does have major implications, and I'm sure we can just put our heads together and come up with a good, solid answer of how to avoid that being a negative impact on the games themselves. So that was the letters and the questions. We'll have plenty more for next episode, and keep them coming. Keep sending your questions to our electronic game information various outlets, and we'll try to answer as many as that we can. Now, we don't get a lot of opportunities to veer off topic in this show, but for tonight, we're going to do an in-depth and exclusive look at the game I made up. To recap, I'm currently in the process of making a game that stars Image Comics heroes Spawn and Shadowhawk as they explore 17th century colonial America. This is going to be an open-world action RPG with plenty of side quests and lore-building NPC interaction. It's going to be a fun game. People are going to have a hell of a time exploring historical and mythological and just plain fun 17th century towns, estates, roads, farms, southern parts of Canada, and of course lengthy dream sequences. So I'd like to talk a little about these dream sequences tonight. The realm of dreams has long been discussed as a place where our minds go at night to process all the things that we've seen and done during the day. But what if Spawn and Shadowhawk had to go into their dreams in order to play through 2D action platforming levels set in the present day, as opposed to the fully 3D action RPG gameplay that makes up the bulk of the game? As in most action RPGs, Spawn and Shadowhawk can visit inns and also set up camps whenever they need to rest or to clear up any debilitating magic effects that have lingered after battles with wizards or spiders or poisonous skeletons. No one else is talking about this, and no one else is thinking about this as this EGI exclusive, so let me explain. Whenever Spawn and Shadowhawk sleep at a new inn, I don't like saying that word inn, so I'm just going to say, let's call them boutique hotels. So whenever Spawn and Shadowhawk sleep at a campsite or a boutique hotel for the first time, it triggers an event wherein Spawn or Shadowhawk are transported in their minds back to modern-day New York City, the city that never sleeps, being explored in dreams. Unbelievable. If it's a boutique hotel, then we play as Shadowhawk's dream, and if it's a campsite, then we play Spawn's dream. Shadowhawk's dreams play kind of like Shinobi 3 Return of the Ninja Master, whereas Spawn's dreams play more like a boss rush game, like Alien Soldier. Just so we are clear, Spawn does sleep. He sleeps, he gets tired and sleeps. It happens in the comics. So I don't want to hear anything about how he doesn't sleep because he's made of necroplasm. These are 2D levels set in New York City. Now, before anyone goes to sleep, of course, Spawn and Shadowhawk do have to talk for a while. So Spawn will say something like, "Oh, it's terrible to think of what this all becomes." And Shadowhawk would respond something like, "What do you mean, Spawn? The woods, the silence and darkness, the forest seemed endless, and we spent hundreds of years driving it back, filling it with concrete and billboards. We stopped being able to drink from the streams. Some people don't even recycle." Shadowhawk, "We still have the national parks." Spawn, "Yes, the national park system is truly a source of pride for all Americans, past, present, and future. I hope that our leaders in Washington, the current one from our time, have the wisdom and foresight to fully fund the park system so that these treasures are protected and sustained for all time." Shadowhawk, "And let's not forget that these massive swaths of the American West are still undeveloped and unlikely to ever be. It's easy to forget that because we both live on the East Coast, along with almost 1 in 5 American people. One in 5 American people live in the Northeast corridor between Washington, D.C. and Boston." Spawn says, "Is that a low or high population estimate?" And then Shadowhawk says, "It's high." Then Spawn says, "Well, it seems high. Obviously, there are a lot of people in the Northeast corridor, but that still seems high." And then Shadowhawk says, "Well, that estimate was based on projections. The next U.S. Census would give us a clearer picture of how many people live in the Northeast corridor." And Spawn says, "Do you think that as the costs of living in the Northeast rise and more middle-class people are pushed into smaller cities in Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and the Carolinas that they'll come up with a new regional term?" Shadowhawk responds, "Isn't that what the term Mid-Atlantic is for?" And then Spawn says, "That doesn't do it for me." And then Philip is there, and he says, "I can't wait to watch them sleep." So, Alan, Alan, are you there? Have you ever stayed in a boutique hotel?
Robbie, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Alan. We're talking about the Spawn and Shadowhawk. They go to these boutique hotels. Have you ever stayed in one of those before?
I've only stayed in I'm in like a capsule hotel, one of those tiny little capsule hotels, but a boutique hotel sounds fun, sounds nice. I think everyone would be really nice to me there.
I think you're right about that, because if you stay in one of these boutique hotels, a lot of times, a lot of times they'll try to do kind of an old world style of service, which could be a little bit off-putting. They'll try to, do your try to do your laundry when you're not looking, or leave you kind of
cool
weird snacks like hard-boiled eggs.
I would love to stay at a boutique hotel with you. Maybe you and I go on a trip.
Well, we could stay at one of those boutique hotels that they make all the rooms look like kids' rooms. Like I have like an embroidered pillow with a baseball mitt on.
I like that.
Something.
Hey, Robbie.
Hey, Alan.
Why don't we end the why don't we, when you end the show, you and I go out, we hit the town and see what the lights of Tokyo have to offer
well, let's
at
get
night.
to the end. We do have a lot still to cover in the show, so let's try to focus ourselves on this.
I hear you loud and clear, but I just think it'd be fun to see some of the sights. How often are you in Tokyo? Come on.
I mean, we're in Tokyo at least once a year, Alan.
Yeah, but let's go. Whoa! Hey, okay. Look, it's Seaman.
It is Seaman.
Seaman. It's Seaman. Robbie.
Yeah.
It's Seaman. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good.
How's the train ride going?
This train is so cool. Seaman. What the heck? What are you?
I'm Seaman. How do you not know who I am?
I know who you are, but like, what? Like, you're a man, right?
Yeah.
But you got that fish body, and and people talk to you with that little controller, with that remote on the controller. What's with that?
I don't know. It's kind of fun. Isn't it cool? You're covering video games. Video games are supposed to be fun.
Alan, I have a question for Seaman. This is a bit of an insider question for Seaman. An inside joke between anyone who's played Seaman and a Seaman himself.
I'm going to ask him.
Itself. Seaman, how's the temperature?
It's a little cold.
It's a little cold. Alan, why don't you crank up the temperature? Because if the temperature's too cold, then Seaman can't do the things that he needs to do.
Seaman,
isn't that right, Seaman?
Yeah, I just didn't want to be rude, but you asked, so.
So cool. Seaman, what do you like to do?
I mean, other than in my own video games, I like playing other video games, too.
Oh, Seaman, what games are you looking forward to from this year's Tokyo Game Show? Are you looking forward to hearing more information about a specific kind of game? Are you looking forward to playing something?
There's one particular... Konami is doing mobile games of their arcade rhythm games, and people thought it was abandonware because they haven't talked about it, but they're talking about it again this year. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I mean, the rhythm game,
Seaman can hear us and respond.
Has been with us for quite some time. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's if anything, the rhythm games on the phone are due for a real barn burner of a season. Don't you think so, Seaman?
I totally agree.
Very cool. Seaman just can do everything. Hey, Seaman.
Yes.
You can say no, but can I give you a kiss? I would like to kiss you.
All right, you can go for it.
Alan,
you gotta take me out to dinner first before you get my number.
Okay, let's do the kiss. Seaman. Robbie, I kiss Seaman. Yay. Thank you, Seaman.
It's me. I'll see you around the floor.
See you later, Seaman.
Bye.
Bye, Seaman.
Robbie! You don't expect to see someone you know in a different city, but there we have it. Seaman popped up on the subway and surprised me, and we kissed. We got to kiss Seaman.
We'll be right back. we're back, and it is time for the list. Alan, are you ready for the list?
Yes. Let's do the list. What's the list today, Robbie?
Sorry, Alan. I really can't get that picture of... Anyway, let's get back to the list. Of course, we had a wonderful list happening in our first episode of Tokyo Game Show coverage, where we started with the Armored Core games, but we only made it to Armored Core 2. So we're going to start the list of Armored Core games once again. Before we talk about Armored Core 2... Another Age, we're going to talk about Frame Gride, which is not on the list, but it is a game that I wish that we could talk about if it was on the list. Frame Gride is, of course, the Japanese exclusive game by the makers of Armored Core. It's a mech combat fighting kind of game where you make your own robots and you build up all the pieces. It's fully customizable. It's Frame Gride, like grid with an E at the end for the Sega Dreamcast. It's not on the list, but it is a very interesting kind of game. If you're looking for something that has those elements from the Armored Core games, maybe looks a little bit more stylized, a little bit more medieval, go ahead and check out Frame Gride, the Japanese exclusive mech combat game from the makers of Armored Core. Next up on the list is Armored Core 2 Another Age. Of course, if you got a PlayStation 2, if you're playing Armored Core games back in the year 2000, you can probably expect to have seen Armored Core 2, but maybe you wanted to get a little bit more Armored Core 2 action out of your purchase, so you go ahead and you purchase Armored Core 2 Another Age. You get 100 new exciting missions and no story. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. It's the list. We're talking about Armored Core games. Again.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you doing tonight? Have you played the Armored Core games? Have you played Armored Core 2, Armored Core 2 Another Age, Armored Core Project Phantasma, Master of Arena, any of these Armored Core games?
I've never played the Armored Core games. I'm excited to hear about them. I do have a little question real quick before you go on that next time of the list.
Let's get it going. We got the list. This is the list. We're asking questions, we're getting answers, and we're doing it all in reverse.
I'm mainly wondering, do you think maybe you could let Alan put the neck braces back on? It's hurting just to look at him flopping that neck around.
Strength, you have to build the strength back in. He's in a good spot. He's feeling.
The doctor said I can take it off. I don't actually need it. I don't need it anymore.
He doesn't need it.
And I'm building up the muscles in my neck again
it's like if you put glasses on too early in your life.
I don't want it. Tell him I don't want it.
He doesn't want it.
All right, if you don't want the neck brace, but
I don't need it.
It's like he got through. This is what happened. This is. I'm gonna just throw this out there. This is what you call allegory, and it is basically like Alan had an Armored Core mech with a neck brace, and he finished the level with the neck brace on that he got in the level, and now he wants to move on without the neck brace and see how the game plays without the neck brace.
Absolutely, the training wheels are off. I am back, baby.
He's Armored Core. So, thank you for your call. Next up on the list is Armored Core 3. Armored Core 3 is, of course, also another early 2000s era Armored Core game on the list. If you wanted to get more out of the Armored Core series, the Armored Core PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 exclusive Armored Core 2, maybe you want to take another crack in the Armored Core universe, see if you could build up your mech, get those stats up, get those parts back onto the robot, get the shoulder-mounted guns and missiles and skates for you want to move fast through a level, as Armored Core robots are apt at doing once they have the correct equipment attached. So let's go to the phones and see what people are thinking about these Armored Core games. People they're on people's minds. You can't tell me that they're not, especially with Damon X Machina is coming out any day now. Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. Are you one of the people that are so excited about the possibility of playing through one of these mech action fighting arena games that you have pre-ordered Damon X Machina for the Nintendo Switch?
I've pre-ordered it. I've kissed the little button when I clicked on the thing, I think it's great.
You clicked on the button. Did you use the voucher? Did you buy it for full price?
my own money, my $60 in my bank account went right to the game. But Robbie, I gotta ask you something.
Yeah.
I heard a Nintendo rumor, a new Nintendo rumor about the next Zelda game title.
The next Zelda game title.
Apparently, it's going to be called Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild Link's Hold. What is that? Do you know anything
Breath
about
of the Wild, Link's Hold. He's holding. What is he holding? He's holding the crossbow. He's holding the crossbow. Link's crossbow training. Is that what we're talking about? Alan, you play. You're the crossbow expert. Link's crossbow training. He was.
That sounds fun to me. Link had a crossbow. That would be like a gun that he had. That
Twilight
sounds fun.
Princess.
Right. I love that. I love that idea, and I hope that
you
is
and me
true.
are talking over each other. We can't hear each other. But what's your thought here? I mean, if Link's hold.
I think Link has. He can hold on a rock. He can climb.
Is he because he's climbing?
Because he climbs. He's got stamina up, and that was part of Breath of the Wild.
Listen, if Link wants to climb, he can climb.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. It's not on the list. This is an Armored Core list. Armored Core, they don't climb in the Armored Core games. They skate.
Armored Core.
Or they
kind of and they shoot other little guys.
They shoot out the little guys. They skate. They kind of like gallop. What do you call it when you're not skating and it's like slow running?
Slow running and skating and little sliding.
Well, thank you for your call. We got to move on. We got time for one more call here on the list. We're talking about the Armored Core games. So we're hearing some of these weird rumors. People are starting rumors already about the title of the new Legend of Zelda game. What are you thinking about this? Where are we? Huh?
I don't know. That's incredibly strange. I just want to talk about the Armored Core games. That's all I really wanted to call in and talk about.
Well, do you have a favorite Armored Core game? I mean, we only gotten to Armored Core 3.
I mean, you already did this. I thought we already did this.
Well, we have to go through the whole point is to have as many. This is the entire Armored Core series. So,
I thought we did that.
What? Give us your favorite Armored Core game. Let's see if we can get that game on the list. If it's not on the list, maybe we can figure out a way to get it on the list.
It should be on the list. It should be Armored Core Mobile 3, the Japan-only mobile game that released in 2007.
Armored Core Mobile 3 is on the list. It's a 2007 Armored Core game for telephones. What kind of telephone was it on?
iPhone, of course.
You tell me that they were, because here's the thing about those Armored Core games is that they have notoriously complex button systems. I mean, every button's used in different ways with different combinations. So what the hell are they doing trying to cram all of that fast-paced, high-energy mech action onto a mobile device? I mean, I think I'm not saying it's not on the list because I'm looking at it right here. It's on the list. But the fact of the matter is that there's some things that just are bad ideas.
Well, obviously it worked well. They made 4 of them.
4 mobile Armored Core games. I only have 3 and 4, so there must be a reason why Marbled Core Armored. Thank you for your call. This is the list, and we will be back next week with more Armored Core games because there are a lot.
Robbie, let's go to Shinjuku.
Maybe. I got to get a haircut. You know, you try to be open-minded. You try to, live with the expectation that you're going to see things and you're going to need to accept them. And you're going to need to sort of, I didn't expect to see my friend Alan Resnick kiss Seaman tonight, but I did. I saw he's a good guy. Alan, he's a sweet guy. He's just filled to the brim with love and kindness and warmth. And there should be a part of me that is happy for Seaman. But it's such a strange shockwave of feeling
And I'm just struggling here. But we have to see these things as opportunities to become better people. Become better versions of ourselves. And not fall into the trap of living in a world gone mad. That was our episode of Tokyo Game Show coverage, our second episode of Tokyo Game Show coverage. We will be back next week with more news and updates of everything coming to and from the Tokyo Game Show. If you have questions, please email them to us at electronicgameinformation@gmail.com. We try to get through as many of them as we can. If you have fan art, please send those pieces of fan art to the electronicgameinformation@gmail.com. Send it to our Twitter account. Send it to our Instagram @electronicgameinformation or at Twitter @EGI with Robby. We are so happy to see everything from you guys. It makes our days better. It makes the pain of living, it subdues it.
Thank you.